still on the play. Team Hawk answering back. There goes the Kaja, the Glue, and the Eve, taken out by the Orcas. While Team Hawk, as they shout, Yibombe, in a recovery game, takes out the 1-1, the Valentina, and the Joy.
It's almost similar bans to game 1, right? I mean, Joy, the reason why you would ban Joy in 1-1 is because there's so many characters that can pick out just to counter. And here we go, the first pick, carry yet again. This is deja vu at this point. I mean, the same draft over and over again because, hey, don't change what's working.
Well, you know, right now, as it stands, it's the exact same draft, but Diggy has been left open. The Yve was the one banned away now. So Echo realized that maybe now the Yve is going to be so important, right? We saw that the Yve was actually giving them a lot of trouble, a lot of problems in the previous game with just how much damage, how much poke she was dealing out.
So on the swing back, if what I'm hearing is right, will they still prioritize the Yuzhong? Oh. They steal away the Cho!
And they pick up the Yuzhong!
And the Yuzhong!
How about both?
How about both? Exactly. Using Pig to ban. That's one of the smarter strategies you can do, but at the same time, that might take away the little things that they do very good, which is the early game aggression, early game Hilda into your jungle. So this pick does leave a lot of other really good pick open now for the side of Team Echo. Again, Lolita is on the table, and a Grok, the flex pick that can go jungle, can go side lane. What is going on here?
Oh, Carl TZ. He has grown so much. What are you talking about? Ling? Hayabusa Lancelot? I got Grok, fam.
Grok, Fredrin, Akai, right? Now, let's see, the change for Team Hawk isn't just that Cho pick, but it's also opting to go for the Fanny instead of the Irithel in the first phase. So they're already making the proper adjustments, in my opinion. In the first game, they were falling behind a bit too much in the early stage. So if they really want to contest in game number 2, maybe going for this new perspective where they need to get that early game might work.
What I hate to do this, right? I hate to rain on Team Hawk's parade, but this Fanny pick here, what it's gonna do is, yes, it's gonna help Gary get those big rotations. Yes, it's gonna threaten the map for Echo, but they're gonna have to start picking and banning in the second phase to help protect this Fanny, because the Grok already is not a good matchup, and if this is going into the hands of Sanji, this Kadita, it's also gonna be a tough play. Hell, might even go into the hands of Yaoi. Yaoi plays a mean Kadita too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many flack, and that's why it's so hard to ban. But still, we have Team Hawk banning the EXP lane right now, with Lapu being taken out. Harith, I was just about to mention that because Team Hawk, they have a very mean dive comp playstyle. You can see what they're picking right here. Yuzhong, Xiao, Fanny. They're not really trying to protect anyone. They're trying to full fireman dive your backline and make sure you don't have a carry either.
But they need to snowball.
Absolutely.
That's the key. It's going to be hard to win from behind if you have a Fanny, if you have Yuzhong, and then maybe they need a marksman still, right? So they have to pick very, very carefully.
They do, right? Looking at it, Echo did a really good job in the second phase of bans, banning out the Harith and the Claude. Two heroes that can really perform great up against these kind of compositions where you really want to just find that pick, right? Kadita, Grok. Now, Team Hawk are caught in a position where they might just have to go for that Irithel pick again. They need someone with mobility. Harith and Claude banned out. The only real choice here is... Oh!
Moscow!
That's why Valens is the analyst.
He passed it over.
Pass it over.
Oh my god, what a pick on the Moscow right here. The attack speed marksman definitely dominate, definitely the winner of the current patch. And the Moscow late game is probably the only choice that can go toe-to-toe, head-to-head against carry. So this pick makes a lot of sense here, on top of the fact that Moscow can actually grant a lot of vision and a lot of mobility to survive against Kadita.
But how is this going to interact with the chunky heroes that Echo picked up, right? The Moscow just shreds through these dudes, almost maybe just second to how Carry does that. There's the Kufra, there's the Fredrin. What's that going to be like? In
terms of base damage too, how much you melt people down, you might actually be able to outscale the carry in the later stage of the game with the healing on top of that.
And then you have a CC.
You have a CC.
You have a displacement.
You also have a global ultimate, which can help in a lot of these situations.
Air quotes global.
Air quotes global. You can actually check a lot of bushes, right? They were struggling late game when it comes to...
Oh!
They're going in! Not only are they going for the Moscow, but they picked up the signature Eudora for Min.
Oh no!
For Man, actually.
That's man. That's man.
Bro.
That's man.
That's man.
I like it.
That's pretty manly pick right there. Won the Eudora. I mean,
That's a Chad pick.
that is a chat pick. There is a counter though. Kadita, if you're able to hide in the bush really well, you can one-shot the Eudora, but vice versa, right? It all depends on who is the better assassin player in this case. Who's able to camp bush better.
Same, but then again, how do you find those bushes, right? You check with your roamers.
Exactly.
And between these two heroes, the Kufra and the Cho, there's this, again, you mentioned this earlier, Dave, that counter relationship. Kufra just eats Cho alive.
I mean, kind of, but at the same time, Chao can actually just dash away and try to kick the Kufra away if he finds himself in danger. So it's one of those love and hate relationship. It's really based on who execute better. And right now in the meta, actually, from what we see, they have better success, who engage first, who engage better on the key targets.
So it comes to a point of, it's not what you got, it's how you use it. Game number 2, Echo versus Team Hawk. Let's see where these junglers start. It's an orange start for Echo, while Team Hawk goes for the purple.
Well, once again, right, I actually do agree with you, Dave. I feel like it is a skill matchup here, especially in the roam department with the Cho and the Kufra. Sure, Kufra has that bouncing ball, can actually negate a lot of these dashes from happening, but with the Shenpu, it does give him, Min, a lot of room to play with, right? I think right now, if we just look at it based on the drafts, who do you guys have? Who do you guys think has the better draft?
I mean, I don't know, actually, because
Yeah,
the
exactly,
draft is
right?
so out of the traditionary. You got Moscow, Eudora being picked in the exact same game. We thought this M4, this is a ranked game taking onto the big stage.
Yep, it's basically something that I saw yesterday. It's like, how is this happening here right now? Oh! Yaoi catches one.
Panda's gonna be brought low here, has that Inspire, pops it in, actually trading better here, winning it out. Fanny's gonna be taken low there, and just like that, Panda is gonna win. Is this a counter, perhaps? A shadow counter towards the carry? When you're able to trade better almost every single time.
Again, I think of all the aspects brought up about the Moskov, it's the displacement that's going to throw most people
Exactly.
off. The fact that you're assuming that I'm going to go into this fight from this point, and then he just throws you off it by what? A few meters in game? That's a main difference dealer. Look at this.
Here we go.
Loverboy cancels it.
They don't opt to go for it, right? A bit too risky here, especially considering that Min was body blocking for Panda. You just don't know when he's going to use the Shunpu, but you do know when Gary is going to start popping off. It's when he gets that level 4, but right now, he does not have the purple buff, so he is still going to be waiting for that to spawn back up before he looks for these crazy dives and ganks.
Another thing that is why this game is so enjoyable to watch is how disciplined the team are. Just now on the bottom side, Echo with 3 versus 2. Kufra, Yaoi could have engaged and find a flavorful team fight, but they didn't know where Fanny was. They didn't know where Gary was, so they decided to take a step back. What if we engage and, Fanny just show up after I use my bouncing ball? Oh, top side!
Lola picked off a good gank by Sanji with better wave control. No, he just ignores the wave.
That's what they were saying. The fact that if you don't know where dudes are, you don't know where these heroes are hiding, there's rarely any difference between a Eudora and a Kadita.
Yeah, they're just camping. It's a camping game, right? Who camps better? And a lot of the mid laners, they like to wait one wave ahead of you coming to the lane. They have to go there one wave earlier. Or the least you expect them to show up. Sometimes you expect a mid lane to clear the wave and then show up, but no, they show up earlier.
With this composition, though, it does put Team Hawk in a position where they really need to get that early game. And as you can see, the early game right now is just dominated by Echo again. Despite having these early picks, Team Hawk are still struggling early on. 2 kills over to Echo. Deja vu.
And so far, it's an interesting approach. But top lane, they eventually find one. It's Sanford, gets popped by 3. And I was going to say, game 1, they had the whole Hilda plan, right? That helped them scale into the mid-game power spike. Here, we agreed that in the draft, they have the snowball. Where's that potential going to come from? I think they have to do more than just that one pickoff. Can Yaoi catch him? Oh, cancels it.
Cancels it, right? Team Hawk playing around the XP lane really well, and Echo noticed that. They went towards the bottom lane, but now with the wild charge, Sanford's going to be able to actually buy some time, and that's going to be the wall. Locking them down. Still Gary able to kill, picking up the kill with Lola's passive. Top lane tier 1 still very, very low as Carl TZ looks to get a kill back. Not going to be able to get in range, but Sanji's here. Gary able to sidestep, and he uses the cables to get out. 1 HP, Gary gets out.
Oh my god, bottom side though, another engage coming from Team Hawk, and they're trying to get more gold right now.
Good win the dragon too, technically. Yaoi was looking for a pick there. But again, I do believe Team Hawk, they just come out with the advantage. Never mind, Echo finds a way to trade it back.
Just as quickly, right? Never mind. I think it's eyes on the prize. You have to consider that when Echo makes moves, they're also thinking of the clapback, or at least the conversion potential. And so far, the fact that they've got 100% of the turtles and they have a 1K gold lead means good things for the Filipino team.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's main on the run. It is Xiao. I said the love and hate relationship is based on who runs or who engaged first, but it turned out he would get caught off by the rotation from Sanford.
Whoa, that's a lot of resources spent, right, to get the kill on a roamer, who's now 0-2-0. So Min, so far in the show, having a pretty similar start to last game, but that's Panda actually getting out. Yaoi looking for that kill. Panda actually helps him out there, gets him out of turret.
You have to consider as well, though, the fact that, yes, they spent all those ults to kill a roamer early on in the game. It's also a way for, at least to make sure that Min doesn't help out Panda. And again, it slows down the snowball potential for this Moscow.
I mean, a lot of times it's really hard for Min to help because he's almost like the most focused person in this match right now. Because the Hilda last game, you see how many people were on him the entire game. Yep. This game, his Chao's getting the Hilda treatment, right? Like everybody's focused on him. Even EXP lane find a better rotation to the mid lane.
And not just that, he's also trying to do vision for Team Hawk. And T was about to walk into that bush.
Oh man, Echo just hate Min, right? But Min right now is doing pretty well and towards that bottom side. Gary's gonna be able to try to look for something. That's a flicker. Sanford hitting the wall. Lola jumping with Black Dragon form. Sanji still trying to run away, but Lola's deciding to actually dive in. 1v3! Finds the kill, but it's gonna be traded back. Who is it worth for? We'll see as Team Hawk look for more. In the gold lane, Yaoi just takes a chunk of HP. Gary did not get the purple buff. That's actually gonna call Teasy, who steals it away and finds a kill. It's the Appraiser's Wrath. Man gets a stun. Carl Teasy not able to look for more.
And I gotta say, at this point, I want to take a look at items from Team Echo. They probably have a lot of Athena shield just for Eudora to make sure he doesn't do the burst. Because you can see how tanky Fredrin really is on Carl TZ. Eudora ascending a skill 1 is feel like he was healing more HP than being damaged at this point.
Than hitting, right? But look at this item pickup from Sanford. Sea Halberd? Oh, he's trying to stop the shenanigans from Lola and maybe even potentially Panda, right? We talked about how that lifesteal into the mid to the late game might make a difference between the Moskov and the carry. I like that Sea Halberd pickup.
Yeah, with the Sea Halberd, you do have, I guess, more utility play around, right? But right now, it just feels like Team Hawk are putting most of their resources to get the Moskov ahead. Lola up top is going to get ganked constantly. He's still able to play the weak side of the map really well. He's actually going to be able to try to turn it around with a Petrify caught in. Gary finds a kill despite having no purple buff. It's still, right now, Lola and Sanford going at it. But with that sustainable ability, Lola is going to be able to actually get out of that one. First turret for Team Hawk.
You know, I gotta give a credit, and also just a little bit thing about what Team Hawk's doing. They're 3v2 trying to push a bottom tier 1 tower, and he's failing every step. Oh, here it comes!
That's the way the Dragon Dome. That's gonna be stunned as well. Panda's still gonna be able to try to dish out some damage. Caught in one. Yaoi and Panda surviving. Just barely. But Benny now, still with full HP, will mean that they will still have more pressure in the gold lane.
Or was it just me holding my breath? I think that was everybody, right? That's got to be everybody. Look at the lover boy.
Here we go.
Yeah, we have the Tyrant's Revenge and the Rage. Benny going to be able to actually dish out some damage, but that's going to be the stun coming in. Not enough. Gary coming in, looking for the damage. Can you imagine that? Whoa! A double kill for Benny, but a double kill back for Gary. He gets out with the cables, but Sanford and Sanji are here. The flicker of the wild charge and water to smack him around. That's a shutdown for Echo.
And that's why Grok is so good in the side lane right now. The ultimate, the wild charge into the flicker. The least expected engage. You don't see it coming like, oh, this is gonna miss. But little did you know, no, you're gonna go back to the black and white screen.
Yep, that was what, a 2 or 3 step process to eventually lead into Echo, getting a 2K lead, right? That was, what, miles away that they planned. We didn't even think about it. We could have sworn that Team Hawk was ahead, but look at the conversion. They pushed down bottom. They're trying to make a way up top. Mid lane, though, standing still. I think this is where the difference has to be made because these mid laners, they've always been rotating the side lanes.
Here we go.
Yaoi and Sanji under the tier 1. Man's gonna be taken down. And just like that, once again, it's Echo who have the man advantage. Lola trying to find just a pick here, but Carl TZ's way too tanky. Gonna be able to sustain back up. Sanji looking for a position to flank, but for Team Hawk, they're just here. It's gonna be Sanji who jumps in. He pops the bench fight a bit too early, and that's gonna be Min running back. That's scary caught. Yaoi the bouncing ball, stopping the dashes. Benny picking up a kill. Min gonna be taking low as Benny free hits once again. Carl TZ traded back in. Lola and Panda running for the hills. It's a double kill for Benny. That's the wall to lock Panda down. Benny with a triple! Benny elbow to the Maniac! Lola jumping out, but it's still again Benny who's looking for it. Yaoi jumps in, takes the kill away, but it's gonna be a Maniac for Benny!
It's a wipeout! 5 down, traded for Carl TZ. Echo is swimming in value, almost 3K ahead, steals away that purple buff, pushes in mid. Oh, Dave, I gotta ask you, where's Echo going with this?
I mean, a lot of highlights that came into the Benny, but I gotta give credit to Yaoi here. Those engages onto Fanny, onto everyone else, and syncing with Sanji to follow up the one-shot, the rough wave combo is absolutely insane. You can see Benny has so much room to do free damage that entire team fight. The whole time he was dashing, auto-attacking. He didn't need any peel because everybody else is getting killed by the mid lane, by Sanji and Yaoi combo.
So ban carry?
Maybe.
I mean, that seems to be the logical choice. Let's look at the items. What's going on here? That's Wind of Nature already, so more likely Benny's gonna win duels against a Panda. What's Panda rocking? It is purely damage still, so not much utility on the Moskov yet.
Absolutely, going for straight damage. And see, Moskov doesn't have to go for carry one-on-one. He penetrates, right? It's all about those penetration. He goes through your front line and kills your back line at the same time. But here we go, the lore fight is about to happen.
Lola with Black Dragon form once again, just looking for an opening right now, and that's going to be actually Min jumping in with onto Sanji, who has the damage, who jumps in again. Yaoi going to be able to find the Lord right there with Carl TZ, securing it. Mon's going to fall. That's a double kill for Sanford right now. And again, Sanford's going wild. Panda's in a 1v1. He gets the stun down, but he's all alone. It's going to be the chase from Echo. The breath of the ocean finds it. He gets knocked up, and you can say goodbye to Panda. 4-0. Echo with a 5.6k gold lead, now a 6k gold lead. Min's the only one left standing.
Echo just pushed that turret, took that Lord with impunity, and 4 members of Hawk on the way out. Sanford just picked up his Blade of Despair.
I know.
Yikes.
This guy is gonna do damage now. I mean, he has Athena show early game, but now it's all about that one-shot backline, the one-shot Eudora. But skip that, here comes the push.
Lola defensively using the Fierce Dive. That's Min melted down. That's Yaoi getting the Tyrant's Rage Flicker. Lola trying to do the best he can. Gary, once again, in desperation goes in, but it's Benny who smacks them, slices them with a triple kill and a wipeout to secure match points.
I can hear all the Echo fans, Limang Echo fans, shouting, go for the throat. It's match point for the Filipino runner-ups of MPL Philippines Season 10. Dave, what's going on? Game 1 was so close. This Min was overloaded, as you mentioned.
I mean, they picked a lot of characters. They're thinking they were trying to pick the meta character, the counter picks, but it seemed like they drafted themselves into a corner, right? Because they're known for a certain playstyle, and this game, they're making a 180-degree switch. I mean, that's a lot of load for the players mentally. So to make that switch quickly and swiftly is really, really hard. And you can see that reflect in the gameplay. The players are not ready to make the engages. Lola, when he finds the dive onto the backline, the team's not able to follow up in time where he's to get killed.
And you mentioned how Lola gets in there. Mirko, do you agree there's a little bit of Game 1 left in the way Team Hawk is playing? So it's, personally, this is what I saw, huh? It felt like they didn't get a full reset.
I think, yes, a little bit of that, right? I do believe that they didn't execute on the game plan that was set for them. They have drafted themselves an early game composition, but they weren't really pulling the trigger early on. They weren't the ones proactive.
Snowball!
No snowball. On a Eudora, on a Fanny. That's what you need. That's what you want. But they did not push it far enough. And Echo, if you give them an inch, they take a mile. They go straight at you. 2 kills early on. I said it. It was deja vu. And it was even quicker this time.
Oh, man. We'll be throwing it over to the analysts in just a bit, but for now, we'd like to remind you of the M4 Pass. It's available now. Complete all active tasks, and you will reach level 75 with ease and for free. Log in now and get the exclusive rewards like the Beatrix Light Chaser skin, the Stellar Brilliant skin, and of course, the M4 exclusive Beatrix figurine. It's all waiting for you in that M4 Battle Pass. Make sure you use the hashtag Mobile Legends Bang Bang and hashtag MLBBM4 and hashtag Dare to Be Great if you're talking about the Battle Pass on social media. The Battle Night for M4 goes live this January 21st. That's the 21st. Expect loads of events and rewards up for grabs in-game. First off, complete the battle tasks in-game on January 21st to get the skin choice chest. You can choose the skin you like the most from the chest. Aside from that, the battle bonus awaits you on the same day. Play matches and you'll get Team Star Protection for 3 matches, double Star Raising points, double Protection points, and double EXP and double BP for 5 matches. We are not stopping there. Free access to all heroes and loads of epic skins will be available that very day. Save the date. Log into the game on January 21st. Enjoy the match and win tons of rewards. Let's all celebrate the M4 World Championship together, including all of our friends. Echo sitting at match point, boys, 2-0. This has to be the reset of a century. Oh, Lord, I can only really imagine what is going on in the Team Hawk camp. But for now, on behalf of Mirko and Dave, we're going to throw it over to our analysts. Boys, tell us what's going on.
All right, welcome back to the analysis panel. Once again, I am Trex. This is Wolf and Gideon. With this being at match point, how you feeling, Gideon? Just be honest with us.
How do you feel after invading my space?
Do you want to switch spots?
As of right now, I'm just embodying Team Hawk, just uncomfortably close to defeat in this best of 5. And honestly, you can definitely tell that a lot of their members, they're starting to lose that edge. They're, again, being a little less disciplined than they should, greeting out for kills that honestly, they can just let go for later objectives.
The prescription to Team Hawk was don't give the carry because Echo was just very successful with this hero. You see that they prioritize it first pick, not even caring about any lockdown whatsoever, and they still are successful with it. Another hero I would say that is an addition to that is the Grok. We saw how flexible it is for the side of Echo. They can play it like XP lane, they can play it in the roam role for sure. We haven't seen it. And they also played it with the jungle. So these two heroes should be watched out for Team Hack.
Definitely very interesting with some of those picks. But now as we creep into the item builds here, a couple interesting things here. Anything in particular to you?
I mean, starting off, I'm looking at Grok immediately, right? This flex pick has been rather frustrating overall, but the itemization, even you called it out, Wolf, especially when we're looking at that Sea Halberd, like, man.
If I am seeing this correctly, he did not even like upgrade his boots, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe he changed it along the way. But here's the thing. Blade of Despair Rush. What you do is to get all of those Legion swords. And if you get like an extra Legion sword on top of the double Legion sword, you get like 3 Legion swords. One of those will be a Sea Halberd, and the 2 of those will be a Blade of Despair. So what you do now is to increase your physical attack. And we know that Grok's passive allows him to get physical defense coming out from the physical attack, like kind of converts it. And in this case, since the only magic damage is the Eudora, which is not an AoE damage, you're not that concerned about the other damage outputs. That's why Sanford looked very tanky in this game.
I'm gonna be honest, all I heard there was sword.
Legion sword.
I don't know how he holds them all, but now into this. What do you think, Gideon?
Personally, for me, I think, again, I would agree with Mirko. They didn't follow that early game plan. And for a large majority of this game, they have a lot of people, especially for Echo, a lot of heroes that can help them stop getting ambushed, right? A lot of precautions that they could take. A lot of people who can actually take space without getting punished too hard, or at the very least, have minimum value being thrown over to Team Hawk.
What we noticed as well is that Echo just waited for their timing. It was more passive in this game as compared to the previous game in the early stages, and that probably is because of the fact that they respected Team Hack's early game potential. So what they did was to play passively, wait for their timings, and when their timing is up, when they do have the items already, that is when they fight.
Now, We were talking about the draft a little bit earlier, and I know when we were all sitting there watching this game, there's a few things I was confused about, right? And maybe they were comfort picks, maybe it was all for Benny Cutie, but we had the Eudora, right? We had some of these things that seemed a little off, and maybe it was all, I mean, I guess, is it to all lock down Benny Cutie? And if so, was it just a big failure?
Honestly, when we really think about it, these are off-meta picks, and you don't get to see them very often. It's not supposed to shape the meta, but I think most importantly, it's to punish opponents in the earlier stages. And that's why you gotta give this easy MVP over to your boy, Benny Cutie. Imagine having so much lockdown, so much one-shot potential, and yet Benny Cutie is walking out there with only one death.
Yeah, and he's the one of those guys who actually like rushes into the Wind of Nature right after the corrosion site in the casual steel leg plates. You know that you can 1v1 against the Moskov, and when the time comes that you need to kind of survive the Fanny all together against the Moskov, you get the Wind of Nature, and even when you're defensive, you don't have as much damage because of the fact that you have your passive anyways. With the Purify and the help of your teammates, you can turn the fights. People really don't put a lot of value into the mastery of Benny Cutie when it comes to his itemization. That's why you fall into the trap where you thought that you can kill him, but guess what? He takes it back to you.
I mean, and I think with something with the carry, the Purify, and the Wind of Nature needing to be so upfront, he's just really, he's so slippery, right? He's just, and then that just adds on top of it. That just makes it even harder to get him, and then with the help of his teammates creating the peel form, he's just able to be the killing machine that he is.
I mean, honestly, he just absorbs resources being thrown at him. There's a lot of condition, especially like you mentioned just now, Wolf, where he did decide to rush for the Winds of Nature, allowing people, and especially when Lola wants to get on top of him, with the help of Gary, they need to be in sync. So as soon as the timer runs out, they can instantly get that kill, but they never found that opportunity.
Yeah.
And notice, this is between 5 and 10 minutes of the game. He's still hovering around the gold lane, but notice that his movements are very dependent on whether or not A, am I getting targeted? Or B, is Turtle lured up?
I guess we'll notice that this time they just waited for their timings, right? This time Benny Cutie is activated because if you remember this game, Benny Cutie actually stayed in the bottom lane for so long with Yaoi to kind of help him. Surely he dies some of the times, but the fact that he stayed here for quite a long time and then they waited for the right timing to punish, as you saw from Sanford, they waited just for the timing of the power spike of the carry and utilize it accordingly.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he never has to move too much around the map just goes to speak how much his teammates know how important he is, right? How they put a lot onto his shoulders. So in the future games, could that be the answer? Look at that huge Maniac. I mean, back-to-back. Game one, it seemed possible for Team Hack, but as we're moving through game two, we're starting to see them back more and more into a canner. Kick corner, is the answer going to be take out Benny Cutie?
Personally, ban out the carry or pick it up for yourself. Simple as that.
Yeah, I do agree with Gideon. I think that Echo is given so much of a comfort so far in back-to-back games, right? They got the carry in the Grok. And I would say that this